Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Football Pundits. Today, we've got a special episode again for two reasons. One, it's your weekly FPL magic. Yes, we know you love those FPL videos because we've seen the numbers. So, your weekly FPL magic video segment is back. And the second reason today is special. Our guest, the gent sitting next to Annie Down, writer and contributor for FF Scout, two finishes in the top 200, going for the third one, sitting at rank 477. He's finished as India ranked number one in 2015-16. Just everyday normal stuff that we're all used to, basically. And so today's a special episode because he is going to be giving you your dope and your dosage of FPL. And we'll jump straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Pranil Sheth. Pranil, welcome to Football Pundits, man. How's it going? Tell us about yourself.
Going good, going good. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on board, and happy to be amongst a bunch of United fans. So it feels like home. No problems at all.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been playing FPL for the best part of last 7-8 years. Same reason as you guys. It's banter with your friends. It's all about having
And money.
and money. Agree. As well as having the bragging rights. I mean that's so important, right?
Yeah.
But I've been more fortunate than others when it comes to the last 6-7 years and clocked a few good finishes. Abhishek has asked me to speak about a few golden rules that I have. And my first golden rule is there is no golden rule. I mean, it changes season on season. Like you need to very early in the season identify or try guesstimating how that season is going to go, and then play the game. But there are a few basic things that I like doing always. First of all, I always make sure that I spend all the money that FPL gives to us on the pitch and not on the bench. I never have a second playing keeper. I always go for a low budget 4 million fifth defender. And I like spending all that money and all those big hitters with brace and hat-trick potential amongst my attackers. When it comes to my defenders, I try not making many defensive moves. I mean, we waste hours and hours thinking over a Maguire is better than a Van Bissaka, and over a period of 8, 9, 10 weeks, you're going to gain like 15 points plus or minus making those transfers. I'm more about playing aggressively. I take a good amount of -4 hits week on week to chase captaincy halls. Now, I think captaincy is the biggest factor here, especially when you have somebody from a premium team playing you have to take a hit to try hitting that brace or try hitting that hat trick. Because this is where you will gain 20, 30 points in one game week. Yeah. That's the kind of gains or losses that you make switching a defender over a 5, 6. I mean, we overthink about that stuff and we shouldn't think about the captaincy. And so, make aggressive moves, shifting these attacking forwards and midfielders.
Yeah.
Make your defense stick and make sure that defense is there for 15, 16 weeks. You don't want to make any moves there unless there are injuries.
Yeah.
And about shifting the big hitters, I mean, you can't shift a big hitter if you're having a prime RVP season. He's there for the season. If you're having a prime Suarez season. So, I mean, you also have to analyze season on season. There's no golden rules. But that's just about the gist of how I tend to play the game. Very aggressive, always. All about the captaincy.
So if Pranil now doesn't finish in the top 100 anymore, you know why, because everyone knows the magic. So that was Pranil Sheth giving us a quick intro into how he really builds out his teams and what are the things that he considers. We'll get straight into today's surgical strike of FPL madness that we do. We're going to start straight away with Karan Rateria. Karan hasn't been having a terrible season. He's in fact been having a very good season. He's at an all-time high rank of 30 or 40,000 overall.
Yep.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're just going to share my screen and we're going to get Karan's team on the screen right now. And while that's happening, we'll obviously get Pranil to sort of diagnose what Karan needs to really do based on what Karan's objectives are.
Yeah. So Pranil, that's my team. As mentioned, I'm currently top of the table, but I'm honestly concerned about people catching up. I have a couple of points in there. Obviously, my bench is not very great. I have to rely on my first 11. My Chelsea double up, I'm not sure how that's going to go. What would you suggest in this?
First of all, don't worry about the bench. They are not going to get you the point. I mean, there will be a little bit of rotation, but even when there is rotation, because of the 5-sub rule, all the attackers are coming on. So you don't really need to worry about the bench so much. I quite like your team. And it's how I like my teams to be compact. The the defense is a set and forget defense. You don't need to think about that. You have the same issue as me, and which is De Gea as a keeper. Because right now we are scoring on an average 3 goals a game since restart. So it'd be nice to have like 3 United attackers in there. You have the safe but the best captaincy option this week, which is De Bruyne at home against Newcastle. He's become a different kind of a beast after he's gotten penalties since Aguero is not there. So I like that a lot about him. And the best differential out there, which is Kane, because he plays a Bournemouth team who are conceding goals for fun right now. The only real weakness that I see in your team, don't think about the bench, don't make transfers there, is maybe Mount, because he seems like a guy who always assists the assister. He's not like, when it comes to my attackers, I like asking about can they score a brace in a game, and Mount doesn't come across as such a player. And a slightly other scope for improving the team is Jimenez. I think you have space for getting a couple of City attackers more right now. Like the premium teams scoring the goals right now are City and Man United. You shouldn't worry about Liverpool, because I think they've had a lot of boosts and they don't look like they're going to hit form anytime soon. So maybe something like, if you're in the mood for a hit and a long-term setup, something like downgrading Jimenez to Greenwood, getting a cheap keeper for De Gea, and then hitting Mount to Foden or Mahrez would be something I'd consider, because City's fixtures until game week 38 are ridiculous. We're talking Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford, and Norwich. Like, I see 15 goals there. You want in on that action. So yeah, apart from that, I mean, your bench is fine. You've got 2 solid defenses in Newcastle and Sheffield defenders. You're good to go. Just keep switching those attackers and finding good captaincy options.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, man. So Mount for Foden is something that I was looking at. And the only other concern that I'm going to ask you is Aurier. Is there another defender I should be going on? I have no Burnley cover.
I have the same defense as you, and you don't need cover for Burnley. You lose or gain 4 points in 1 week, and even that's not guaranteed. When you're switching these midfielders and attackers, you're talking about 15 points instead of 4 points. Like, that should come into your thinking. So don't worry about it. I mean, Aurier is a 2 or a 15 on any given day, because he's playing as a sort of a winger on the right hand side. Mourinho is doing that 3 people as a centre back, and he's making Aurier move forward. I like him. He's an exciting pick, and he's playing Bournemouth next. I wouldn't worry too much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man.
All right, so that was a quick surgical analysis on Kern's team. So for you, your takeaway, if you're watching this, is if you have in general been performing well, if you have a team that looks a bit like Kern's, I'm guessing your spends will also match. So those are some tips for you if you've been generally performing well and looking to cement. This is now my team, kind of woeful, kind of abysmal, but I've been bang average this season. My FPL rank is close to 1 million, Pranil, and I have 2 or 3 questions that I'm going to ask you pointedly. First up, I know United, you just mentioned they're going into what you believe is going to be a goal rush over the next 5 games. So therefore, my first question to you is going to be, should I continue with this risky sort of strategy of having 2 midfielders from United in Martial and Fernandes and Rashford? Or should I probably swap Martial or Rashford out for maybe a Jimenez or a Foden equivalent? I have no City players.
I don't see having 3 United attackers as a risk. I mean, nobody else is scoring 3 goals a game right now. So you want in on that action. I mean, you must be averaging 30, 40 points from United assets since restart, and I think you should be happy with that. But yes, the lack of City is scary. And I'd immediately sell Salah for De Bruyne in your position. Again, because one thing is that Liverpool don't look up for it. City are loving the whole training ground atmosphere. Anyways, they don't have any crowds. It feels like home for them. I won't be surprised if they have a few more final 6-0. I mean, the result yesterday was quite an anomaly. I thought Liverpool were quite pathetic despite winning 2-0. I think.
You're playing Aston Villa, right? No matter how bad you are, the other team, Aston Villa makes you look better. So
Aston Villa did everything they could to look good but not score. I mean, they had so many chances to put the ball in the net, but that attack is just so poor. I mean, with the exception of Grealish, like, I don't know whether they know how to put the ball in the net. So that's the thing. To their credit, though, they've been a little tighter in defense since the restart. I would look at not switching to United attackers. I'm looking to get 3 United attackers myself. I'm stuck with De Gea right now. But selling Salah for a City attacker, maybe changing Mope as well. I mean, a move which is sort of risky that you could do if you want more City attackers is maybe downgrade Rashford to Greenwood. A boy is in form. You buy yourself 5 million with that move, and then you can spend that in attack. You know, instead of having just De Bruyne for Salah, you can have 2 premium City midfielders. I mean, you can upgrade Guendouzi for a City midfielder, spending that money that a Rashford to a Greenwood downgrade.
I'm just going to come in. I'm just going to come in because that's my second question actually to you, which is I have used all my chips, right? And for me, the way I'm looking at it right now, after my first substitute, I'm looking at the other 2 players on my bench as purely money savers. I've gone for the least possible valued players in both those positions. So,
correct.
Because the logic being that I've used all my chips, there's going to be no bench boost, and I'm trusting my starting 12, the 11, and my first sub to cover any sort of rotation. But do you still think I need to sort of have a second sub and upgrade a Guendouzi and still keep?
Not when you're at 1 million. I mean, like I said, go for those high impact moves. Don't spend time or transfers doing these moves. Trust your front 7. I think your thinking is right. Let Ings stay. I think he's got a decent run in the last 3. Ralph, the manager, said that he's going to start him in all games because he's going for the golden boot. I always like that towards the end of the season. Your potential weaknesses, Steve Bruce mentioned that Saint Maximin isn't going to probably start the next game. So I'll lose Salah, maybe downgrade Rash and spend that money getting Chelsea attackers and City attackers. That's where the goals are coming from right now. If you're looking for a slightly left field differential, our old friend David Moyes is doing fairly well nowadays, and Antonio is playing out of position as a forward. So I like him as a punt as well. Again, I mean, goal scorers. That's what I like. You must have had a good run, yeah. You've got 3 United attackers. You've got Tate Max in there. You've got Ings in there. Must be in a hot streak. So continue doing what you're doing.
Awesome. But yeah, I think point taken on maybe downgrading Rashford because he's only really paid me in this last game week, that too through a penalty. He hasn't looked in goal scoring form. But moving on to Animesh's team now, just to give you a quick intro, Animesh has not been having a great season. In some of the leagues that he's in, he's sort of towards the bottom parts of it. So if you're also languishing towards the bottom halves of your leagues and if you're looking for some serious help, right? I'm guessing this is what your team broadly also looks like because that's why you're in where you are. So you've got Pranil and Animesh now. Animesh, quickly talk us through your team and what is it that you'd like to get from Pranil?
So I was at the bottom of the league. I was 22nd. I was 21st out of 22 players. I am now 17th with Son and Calvert-Lewin still to play. Guys, this is being shot before the Tottenham Everton fixture because it's too tight for us even to keep up. But yeah, I want to ask you that I've made 2 mistakes, right? And I think you can see right now in the screen. I did triple down on my Wolves players. They did get me points, but I feel now in the coming games when they're playing Sheffield and Everton, they're going to be a bit of a pain problem, especially a Jimenez for me, right? And a Patricio maybe. And secondly, I did suggest like as a differential option to all our viewers that Greenwood is a good differential and he's paid me off well in the last 2 weeks. What do I do with Mane? I want to downgrade Mane for sure.
I actually quite like your team. I don't think Patricio and Saisa are mistakes. I wish I was on a Wolves defensive double up because since Bolly has come into the picture, I think they're keeping clean sheets in 2 out of 3 games. They're essentially a very tight, compact unit. They don't score a lot of goals. So they rely on winning like 1-0, 2-0 and keeping a clean sheet. I think that's very important for them. I thought they did pretty well against Arsenal as well. Credit to Arteta and Arsenal for managing to get a result there. I wouldn't touch them. And if you're looking, and Mane is a sell, in my opinion. If you want to keep him, but the thing is, Liverpool are playing 4 games in the space of 10 days. So I expect a bit of rotation in the next 2 games. I expect Mane and Salah to be benched in a game each. I could go wrong, but I don't like sitting on the fence when I'm giving my opinion. So you can.
So my thought was Mane out for either Martial or go for a Chelsea player. What do you prefer? Which one of them?
Martial, for sure. I mean, I think this is the last time we are going to get a United forward nailed on to start playing as an 8 million midfielder. I don't think we are ever going to get this gift from FPL again. Go for it. He looks bang in form, and I like that people think that United are a shitty team because we are a completely different team compared to what we've been all season because we haven't had Bruno and Pogba supplying to our attackers all season.
Right.
So go for it. And what another strategy I'd like to suggest to you is since you're looking to make huge jumps, you can think about making your transfers and attack going whipping boy hunting. So, for example, right now, Bournemouth are conceding goals for fun. Norwich are conceding goals for fun. Kane plays Bournemouth this game week. Get him, captain him. Try getting a huge haul. I think Vardy and Ings are about to play Bournemouth in the near future as well. So get them in just for that week for the captaincy. You're trying to hit 20, 30 point hauls so that, you mentioned you're sitting at 17.
-4 doesn't matter there if you're looking at
-4 doesn't matter. You even need to make a single move. Like Calvert-Lewin, if you're downgrading Mane, you're going to have loads of cash. So Calvert-Lewin to Kane to Vardy to Ings is a line of moves that I can see, when you're trying to hit those hauls. Only thing I'd worry a little about Son because he's playing too wide, in my opinion, at the moment. The only reason he'll score is because of the caliber of the player that he is. But hold him for the Bournemouth game and then maybe sell him. That's my advice.
That was the idea. Also, I have 3 chips left and only 5 game weeks to go. I have triple captain, bench boost, and free hit. I was thinking about using my bench boost. Obviously, the problem is Cantwell, as you can see, has not been playing and doesn't matter much. I was thinking of maybe playing my triple captain the coming week. Yes, no.
Who? Newcastle? De Bruyne Newcastle at home?
No, Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno away at Villa.
Captain.
No, I think Bruno has better fixtures later. I actually think the Villa defense have been pretty good, pretty compact. Wait for an easier opponent. But also, you're looking to make ground. I think most of your mini league will have Bruno right now. Try hitting a differential with that triple captaincy chip. Because if you're triple captaining Bruno and if everybody's captaining Bruno, you gain only one Bruno. But if you're triple captaining Kane and nobody owns Kane,
of course,
you're gaining 60 points over everybody else that no one else has. So if you have that chip, hit a differential with it. I mean, you have to take that gamble. No points for coming second, last, or last. Go big or go home.
Indirectly,
Jamal Lascelles for captain.
No. Indirectly, he's saying Greenwood for triple captain, guys. Just hear that.
Yeah, but not Villa away. I think that's. I don't think that's going to be as easy of a sure as others are making out to be.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you for your help there. I definitely was considering what you were saying, and now that you've confirmed it, I think I'll be going ahead with that. Mane, I think, is someone I should be taking out of the team now.
I don't think the season's over for you. Your team is in good shape. See you making ground in the future.
So guys, that was Pranil Sheth sort of doctoring the 3 different kinds of teams that you probably have one of the 3 going into game week 34 because we represent pretty much the 3 teams that you can be having. I hope that was helpful. Before we leave you guys today, very quickly from you, Pranil, treat this like a rapid fire. I'm going to ask you a question. Shoot immediately. Question number 1. 2 absolute must-haves for game week 34.
KDB to United attackers.
Okay. 2 differentials for game week 34. Or any differential for game week 34.
Raheem Sterling and Oliver Giroud.
Ooh, okay. Top 2 captain picks for game week 34.
KDB and Kane. KDB if you're trying to hold rank, Kane if you're chasing.
Wow. And last but not the least, chip strategy. If you have a triple captain or any chip, is this the game week to use it?
Maybe KDB Newcastle at home. If you're in the mood to gamble, I even like Sterling at home, but I'm a little worried about his minutes. I'd be more comfortable captaining a Sterling if he didn't play the previous game because Pep is going to rotate. So if somebody's benched the current game week, he becomes a great buy or a captaincy option the next game week. So I think the goals are coming from City and United. When you see such an opportunity arise against either a Bournemouth or a Norwich, go for the triple captaincy.
Fair enough. So guys, that was your weekly dope of Fantasy Premier League. We brought in the very best. We brought in a former India #1. And believe me, guys, his name is Late Riser 12. Do check him out. He runs his own podcast as well. So you can always go and tune into that. So Pranil, thank you so much, man. On behalf of Football Pundits, it was a pleasure having you. Guys, if you're watching, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Give us some likes. Show us some love. And I promise you'll do better in your fantasy league next season. So all the very best. Take care and see you next time.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.